What a man. How good is that? What about the highlights? A goal-kicking machine at the moment too. Unfortunately, not this weekend. How is the foot?
Yeah, I broke my ankle. I've put that's a lot of mayonnaise on that. It's like a little chip in the bottom of your fib. But
Just for Melbourne fans who have just driven off the road, we need to be clear, you don't have a broken ankle.
I like the story of courageously playing with a broken ankle, so I don't mind pushing that narrative. But no, it is a chip. They say it's like a badly torn ankle. I say it's like a broken bone.
So was it not a chipped fibula?
Chipped fib, yeah, down the bottom. Chip down right down the bottom where it obviously meets the ankle.
Where it meets the ankle.
Yeah, I'm not. What? That's the joint where then the foot would then come out. So,
yeah, I think we're asking the three wrong people.
I've always thought the ankle was above the foot. Just me.
And there's phalanges there somewhere.
Oh, okay, right.
Did it hurt when you did it? That might be a stupid question, but
it did. It was right before half time, which meant it sort of went unnoticed.
Yeah.
Because I was able to I had a fight at a little scuffle at half time, and then made me way down to the rooms, and then got it taped and whatnot, and tried to get it assessed, and then the third quarter was pretty bad.
You're in the moon boot though. They are not very nice to wear, but look gross too.
Have you worn many?
I had a 3-year period where I think it was only 2.5 months out of them.
Yeah, right.
And I was having ceremonial burnings until the club started complaining because they had to buy new ones, and they're quite expensive.
I actually don't think they do much, personally.
Nah.
But I am wearing a moon boot because that gives you the best chance for the earliest recovery possible.
Right. And, speaking of recovery, you projected a week. I think your coach might have come out and said that was slightly optimistic.
Yeah.
What's the update for the fans?
We're having fun. I think he's got a presser tomorrow, so I feel like putting him under the pump again.
Yep.
Yes.
Back this week.
Back tomorrow.
Back tomorrow. Great.
No, when do we play? We'll play Saturday. No, look, they give you the doctors and the physios give you the goal of 2 to 3 weeks, and any athlete will go, all right, you're on. Let's try and beat that. And that's my mindset, but obviously 2 to 3 weeks seems like what it'll be, which is 2 weeks to the dot is actually the Fremantle game, which is next week. That's Sunday to Sunday game. But I'm not sure if that's how their mind's working. They're talking about 2 games.
Yeah.
So my job is to literally not worry about what game I'm returning. It's to get out of the boot and I can run straight away and no swelling. And if I can get that done as early as possible, that means I'm beating them.
How many people have cracked the sads on your social media about their Supercoach? Because I'll tell you what, with you out of my Supercoach team, it's a real issue for me at the moment. And I know it's an issue for a few people in this office as well.
Well, I've had to be fair, they've been getting at me in the last sort of fortnight. I had a rough score up in Brisbane. I sort of got tagged out of that game. I like to say tagged. It's probably just a ruck played on me. And then I was sort of on my way. At half time, I was going pretty well and then didn't get a kick in the third quarter. Well, got one kick and then... so my Supercoach fans haven't been a fan of me the last couple of weeks.
How are you tracking down there, though? The D's, you're sitting in 10th, but only a game off 5th. So for all the doom and gloom that I feel like's been associated with your football club all the way from the pre-season, you've still a real chance to play in September.
It's a fun time of the year. You certainly want to be where we are. I mean, obviously you'd ideally want to be where Sydney are, but it's a fun part of the year to make sure every game is worth something. Every team we play are in that sort of 7 or 8 teams that are fighting for it, so it makes every game an 8-pointer. I mean, obviously I'm not playing in this one, but hopefully I'm involved in all of them because it's pretty much finals the whole way home for us, which is, it's really exciting.
Are you a ladder predictor guy? Are there members of the team who would sit down with the ladder predictor and work out?
I don't.
This is our pathway into the 8 here.
I certainly don't hide from media, so I have Twitter, I have Instagram, and I can see like my algorithms are football biased. So there are a lot of stuff that do come across my Twitter feed, and the one that did yesterday was we were the longest odds out of all those teams to make finals,
right?
Which makes me want to do it even more. Makes me want to really we've got a lot of things that have gone against us this year, but in the end, our football hasn't been where it's been the last 2 years. So it feels like it's turned a tiny bit. The North Melbourne game was impressive for 3 quarters until the last. The Brisbane game, we probably should have got that done until the last 5 or 6 minutes. And then the game just gone against West Coast against a side that beat us by 60. We did a 100-point turnaround, which shows that we're in better form than what we were sort of 6 weeks ago.
You're much loved throughout the AFL and the wider community. Is there any hate that comes through your socials?
I've got this one rule on socials. where I don't reply to anyone I don't know, which can, there's a lot of good that comes through socials as well. There's a lot of people that want to wear your products and stuff like that. But my rule is if I don't reply to them, I will never reply to the guy who is angry about Supercoach scores.
And that's why you should block Limo_15
until he interviews you in person.
So they're the ones, and obviously disposal markets is comical. I saw Jack Chris put it up one time. How many people?
So they're going you about costing them same game multis and the like.
Same game multis, yeah, which is very popular these days. So they're the two that come across a lot. I've missed a lot of goals in key parts of games as well. So I've kicked a couple of good goals at key parts of games, but I've missed a lot. So they're the kind of things. If I don't reply to the good, it means I don't reply to the bad. It's a pretty easy.
Do you say when you finish a game and you turn on your socials, do you hold your breath until the mentions pop up? Like the number, oh no, there's 700 mentions today. What have I done?
Yeah, you do have to be careful. You can sort of delve too far into the Twitter world and the Twitter, it's not Twitter. What's it called? X.
X these days, yeah.
There's not a whole lot of positivity coming out of that.
No, I don't think anyone's ever said, well done, good game, mate, on X.
Right. And you'd have to keep an eye on the young fellas as well because they're even more obsessed, aren't they? Your 18, 19, 20-year-olds.
Yeah, different platforms though. So I'm sort of your Insta and your X, and I'm not as old for Facebook. That's probably more parents these days. You know, your parents upload their family trip and on Facebook, and no one cares.
Screenshots of photos instead of photos.
Yeah, that's where the Gen Z sort of crew are. They love Snapchat. They use Snapchat as their texting, which is phenomenal. They just do a no context photo of this table and say, "How was your day?" I'm like, "Well, just send me the text." And then TikTok's huge. Are you on TikTok? No. Yeah.
Too old.
Don't go anywhere. We've got plenty to talk to you about. Tour de France, you're a big cyclist fan, and also your wine bar that is just an empire building.
Sure.
So, Maxie, outside of footy, you like your cycling.
Yes.
Tour de France on at the minute. Have you been staying up late nights, early mornings?
Yeah, it is. It is a rough time slot, the Tour de France. It's sort of a 9:30 start, 2 a.m. finish, but only the good stuff happens sort of 12 till 2, which tends to be the same as a night out, really. The good stuff happens 12 till 2.
Some say nothing good happens after midnight, but I disagree.
That's usually the best.
You're not living.
I really enjoy the sport. I like the activity as well. I like cycling, but I love the sport more.
Are you a lycra man?
You'd be very silly not to. One, you'd look like the odd one out, not wearing lycra, and two, it helps. It helps with performance.
Are you a cleats into the coffee shop kind of guy?
Well, it's very hard to bring a spare pair of shoes if you're going for a bike ride.
So you are. So the answer is yes.
But I would ideally try and get an outdoor table and not go inside.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Those things are dangerous, though. The cleats. The amount of cyclists you see go.
Yeah, they're slippery.
Over.
They are very slippery.
And the wine bars flying along the Empire.
You've been to East End?
A couple of times. Magnificent. The pizzas, the wine.
East End Wine Bar is the baby. That's about 5.5 years old now. They say once you get to 5 years in hospitality, you've made it. So
congratulations.
I don't have to do anything now. That just is.
You got an air horn there.
Well,
absolutely.
Hang on.
Say it again.
Once you get to 5 years in hospitality, you've made it.
There we go. Do you play the air horn at the bar at all?
We might do that tonight. We might just constantly play this grab.
The R&B air horn. Where exactly is it for people who haven't been?
East End Wine Bar is Camberwell Junction, just on Riversdale Road there. And the second one is a place called Motor. Up the top of Glenferrie Road, near sort of the way I say it is near Cheers.
Toss the boss on a Tuesday night.
Cheers and Room are the two places that I know, but in that sort of area. I think I've seen you on a night out at Cheers, actually.
I used to go there more than I should have. It's probably the honest truth.
When the first Tuesday after the first lot of Melbourne teams get eliminated, so there's like 5 teams that have missed finals from Melbourne. That first Tuesday is a who's who. I mean, Cheers isn't a thing anymore, I'm pretty sure now.
But it may as well have been an AFL function with a few outsiders coming on.
Cheers and then on to Room.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was an incredible night, Cheers. No, that one's called Motor. That one's a little bit more food focused. You get a nice little steak there. And that's, Are you
a wine nuffy on any level?
I'm getting better. I love the hospitality side more. I've had to learn wine. I'm trained very well to talk about the one that we get our best markup on.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure you are.
Nice.
What is it at the moment?
It's a Chardonnay. Yeah, so if you come in, I can nail you the Chardonnay quote. If you want something else, I'll send you to our connoisseur.
It did come out yesterday that Chardonnay is the most drunk wine now in Australia outside of the Shiraz.
It's really only big in Australia. It's weird. Australians love Chardonnay.
There you go.
It's not as popular. I mean, very popular in Chardonnay itself. But
My wife is a massive, massive advocate for Chardonnay. I can
This
tell
might
you,
sound
yes.
like a problem.
I am.
We can move to that later. Hey, back to footy for a
Yes.
minute. Jakey Melksham,
Yes.
really good story seeing him back last week.
He didn't even come in on Monday, did he? Did a phoner.
Yeah, that's it. No,
Yeah.
refused to. He was down at a winery somewhere driving back.
No, Melky, I mean, if we all take I'm not sure how many people were watching Melbourne, Sydney round 23 last year, but for him to get injured in that game, a 32-year-old out of contract, gets injured at the end of the season. It looks like the next season is done with injury. You're sort of worried for his future, and a few of us sort of lobbied behind what he can bring to the club, and Melky, for these last 5 years, almost hasn't played before round 12 anyway, so I don't see it as much of a difference into what he's normally done. But
Right.
he's great for our culture. He's a leader, and he comes in without any warm-up game, and he's able to play on Jeremy McGovern. And I think McGovern was still pretty good, but was able to shut him down to a point where we were able to win the game.
And we need a Charlie Spargo update as well.
Yeah, Spargs he's out for the year technically now, but he has been out for the year since almost round 2. I don't think we've seen him play for a long time. So he's had some Achilles stuff for a long part of his career. And he's tried to get this little patch to see if he can get it right. And I think it's got to a point where the surgery is the last option.
The other one you're loving, the big rooster, Jacob Van Rooyen.
Yeah, Ryan, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Which is weird because they go Roo.
They go Roo.
Yeah, which confuses me.
Yeah, I'm not going to pull him up. I'm pretty happy with the Roo call. He walks around like a full forward, which I like.
He got the strut.
Yeah,
he gets it.
I think you struggle if you're not a full forward with a bit of strut.
Yeah.
Like Bailey Fritsch has got strut as well, and he's
And
our
hair.
other full forward.
A lot of it.
Tom McDonald, he was a backman who had too much strut, so we said we've got to put him forward, and that worked. He kicked 60 goals in a year. He's gone back now because he's a little bit older and less strut, but you need to have the strut to be a full forward. And I like to get behind a full forward that has strut like that, and Jacob Van Rooyen has it.
It should be supported. What do you like? So day one, your new draftees, a few new recruits come through the front door. Do you like to see a head wobble on an 18-year-old, or do you like them to come in a bit more below the radar?
They're all good, to be honest. It's changed from when you started, Daisy, and myself, where it was sort of a speak when spoken to type culture. And if you're a first-year player and you say a word, what are you doing? Now they almost run the shot as a first-year player. So they come in pretty confident. We've got a kid now called Colton Tholstrup who is an extremely confident lad.
He's got the perm.
Yeah, and I love him for it, to be fair.
Yeah, good on him. And I'll tell you what, is there a more Melbourne name than Colton Tholstrup?
It reeks Melbourne, does it?
It really does.
Another one who's been getting some good midfield minutes with Petracca out, Trent Rivers. You must be liking what you're seeing from him and also feeding him some nice little taps.
Yeah, occasionally when you put your head above water and have a little look at the Melbourne forums and see how they're replying to Instagram comments, Trent Rivers playing midfield has been a request for a long time.
Okay.
So the fans have finally got what they wanted.
So Goody's cave to
Goody's
fan
cave.
footy.
I'm not sure if he did it via social media or if he just...
Instagram will be named as an assistant coach.
Goody does have a rough idea of team selection. So those that are out there. And my favourite is when... like Gawn gets named on the wing, and the first comment is, "Why is Max Gawn playing on the wing?" And I'm not sure, Lima, if you've caught onto this, but the team selection hasn't been the way the team lines up for a long time, and there hasn't been a centre forward now for 20 years. There's no such position.
Yeah, I saw when the first time Luke Bruce was named at centre half forward, I thought to myself, "Nah, they're not starting in these positions." Are they?
Yeah, well, Goody does it quite unique. He has the similar, like so all 18 names on the board. But he does the 3 talls down the bottom and the 3 smalls in the high. So it looks like we're playing 2 talls in the forward pocket. And Alex Neil-Bullen's playing centre half forward. So it's quite unique. But yeah, Trent, I'm glad I still remembered what the question was. Trent's playing some good midfield time. He got 10 coaches' votes on the weekend, which is probably something he hasn't done from half back yet. So it looks like he might have found his position.
And an update on Christian Petracca, if you could.
He's been in the wars.
Did you think it was that serious at the time?
Rib injuries, you can see the pain in people's face. Obviously, and this has been talked about, you're never going to know what's actually wrong with him. And people have played with some sort of rib injuries before, and he was happy to do that. And to be fair, he did have a rib injury. I think he had 4 of them. He just also had something else internal. The appendix, which I think is a randomly timed appendix, is what the doctors are saying. It's a phenomenally timed appendix.
Hang on.
No correlation.
It just fluke.
This was the time that his appendix wanted to pop out.
At the same
at 2 weeks after he just had spleen surgery. Maybe it must be a lie. I'm not believing the doctors on that one. But
that's a pretty wild coincidence. That one.
But no, he's high spirited. We're in dialogue. I went over last week. There was a little window where we were allowed to see him. He's got a low immune system and whatnot, so it's tough to go see him. But there was a little window where we were allowed. And I popped over and I took some bread. There's some amazing bakery called Baker Blue where I get my bread from.
Outstanding.
And I took a loaf of bread. I don't think
you took it.
I don't think he realised how good the bread was.
Where it was from.
He was thinking he was literally just thinking I brought a loaf of bread over.
It is a weird thing to
Well, back in the day, bring a cup of milk and some bread and some eggs and whatnot, and it'll help someone out. But I don't think he really. I think he wanted the PlayStation, and I think the sourdough didn't live up to the PlayStation.
Just when the chips are down and you're rocking up with bread.
I'd like to have with a loaf of sourdough.
No, awesome, mate. Hey, good luck with your recovery. We hope it is 1 week, not the 3. But regardless, hopefully you boys go deep in September.
Thank you. Looking forward to it.